independent. All right, let me take this opportunity now to introduce Charity Kathambi, who is Honorable Charity Kathambi, who is the Member of Parliament for Njoro. Many thanks for joining us on Weekend Express. So, of course, we're discussing the wars within the IEBC. What do you make of that letter by Chiloba? Is this an IEBC chairman who's looking to vindicate himself? Because even looking at that letter that he sent to Ezra Chiloba, we've seen 5 commissioners already coming out and denouncing that letter, saying we were not consulted when the, Chebukati was writing this letter. What do you make of those developments?
Thank you so much for hosting me. What I would like to say, the issues of IEBC, no matter what is going around every corner, IEBC is an independent constitutional commission. Therefore, the bitter fact Chebukati should carry, the big responsibility is upon him. He should be ready to remember that he is answerable to Kenyans. Therefore, the final position about the IEBC issue lies in his hands. He should know that he was granted that position to do his work without accepting any pressure. He should remember that he accepted the position so that he could feel and he could act according to what is requested of him.
Right.
Therefore, as IEBC, let him stand firm. Let him make his house in order. Because what is important to Kenyans, it is not the road issues we are seeing, but we want a orderly house from IEBC.
And speaking of their independence, let me come to you, Harvey. How independent is this institution as we speak? Because one hand, Wafula Chebukati writes that letter. On the other hand, 5 commissioners come out and say, we were not consulted in this letter. Among those 5 commissioners was Paul Kurgat, who an hour later came and said, wait, my signature was on that memo written by the 5 commissioners denouncing this letter, but I was not part of those 5 commissioners. I did not sign this memo. An hour later, he comes back and denounces his statement and saying, well, I was actually part of the 5 commissioners who signed this memo. Does this validate what Raila Odinga has been saying, that IEBC commissioners are being intimidated, some of their security being withdrawn to stop them from making right some of the wrongs that have occurred during the August 8th elections?
Now, as regards the latter memo, we really don't know now what to believe.
Right.
It is reminiscent of the famous statement by President Bill Clinton, deny, deny, deny. So you don't know which of the earlier 2 have been denied. But look, the independent commissions within the Constitution were designed to function with the commissioners on one hand, oversighting the larger role of leadership, and with the Secretariat undertaking the day-to-day accounting and administrative duties. But has that been the case? No, it's not been the case. Let me give you a very perfect example. Look at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, whose commissioners and chairs have been replaced almost like diapers. And the frequency with which they're being replaced is so high. But what about the Secretariat? It has maintained its existence for a considerable period of time. And the Secretariat always seems to side with a particular position that has been taken by the government of the day. Now, just oppose this to the position of the IEBC, and you begin to see commissioners and the chair have always been removed at a very high frequency. But the Secretariat has been maintained for a long period of time. Right. And if you have to check some of those individuals who are alleged to have the highest measure of culpability, they have been there from the time of Kivuitu. And when Chairman Chebukati came out and said he wants things to be done in a particular way, his statement was this. We came into office about 8 months ago. We inherited a secretariat that we had no control over, and one that didn't seem to take instructions from us. If one required any admission that there was interference and this institution was not as independent as it ought to be within the Constitution, then that was a very brazen statement from the chair. And then look, within a few days, after the chairman has indicated, I've come up with a body of officers who, in my view, are better placed to undertake the election on the 17th of August. The Jubilee administration, through the leader of their party, comes in and says, no, those individuals are partisan. Now, that statement of itself indicates that there are individuals who know who in IEBC can be pliable, who in IEBC can toe the line. And when it comes to the issue of certain commissioners taking a position divergent from that of the chairman, it is a clear indicator that this institution has been infested and it cannot have any fidelity of independence. And if anything is to go by, what came out of the declaration on 11th of August is a clear indicator that somebody outside infiltrated the IEBC, commanded the IEBC to come up with a particular desired outcome against the popular will of the people of Kenya. So we should not bicker and say that it's all politicians who are interfering with the IEBC. Indicate to us to what extent has the NASA coalition interfered with the IEBC. You'll not be able to see anything still of evidence. But if you go back and see the footprints of what Jubilee have done in IEBC, it's all over.
All right. And of course, that